If you've ever been texting and autocorrect changed a word to ducks, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, folks. Welcome back to another week of live trading. It is draft week. Happy Monday. Hope you all are rested and had a great weekend. We're back at it. Actually forgot to put my bird away, so I'm going to have to do that here pretty soon. Let's go ahead and get started.
Welcome to Benzinga Live Trading.
Let's see if this actually kind of comes back.
Way out of control, got way too high.
All right. Hey, I will take that. I will absolutely take that.
Hello and good morning, folks. It's great to see a whole bunch of returning faces. Thank you so much, producer, for cycling through those. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and happy Monday. We are back. So as mentioned here, I forgot to put my bird away, which I normally do before I start the show. So once I bring my main man on, 13 here, I'm going to take care of that. 13, how you doing today? Happy Monday.
Oh, yeah, this is Monday. How's everybody else doing? Did you have a good weekend, Ryan?
I like how you pretended to know that it wasn't Monday and that you kind of just realized it now.
No, it feels like Monday.
It does indeed feel like a Monday. I will say, though, becoming a trader has made Mondays a lot more palatable. There are a number of times over the weekend where I'm like, will the market just open? So we got that going for us. Anyway, happy Monday. Great to see a whole bunch of returning faces. Let's go ahead and dive right into the market. As I said, 13, I forgot to put Cleo away. Thankfully, so far, he's cooperating, but that will not last. So I'm going to go ahead and give you a rundown on the SPY here. And then I'm going to turn it over to you. And while you're giving your rundown, I'm going to go get the bird stashed, okay?
All right.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look at it. So we have continued our down move here. And as you can see, we've really kind of come into this 100-day. Now we're about 6 points away. I actually expect another test of this. We didn't quite get down to this low here with the last candle from Friday. By the way, that came in the pre-market. That actually came down to 492 in the pre-market. But I want to see that area get tested in the regular session. So that's kind of what I'm looking for here today. I am definitely going to be paying attention to the volume. The big event for this week that is not market related is the NFL draft. And unlike some of the other events that we've talked about, whether they're golf tournaments or what have you, I actually don't expect that to have any effect on the volume here. Sometimes those other events are happening during the market hours and can draw attention away from it. That's not the case with the NFL draft. So at least here on Monday, I don't expect any change in trading based on that event here this week. Okay, 13, why don't you go ahead and mention the SPY? Like I said, I will be right back.
All right. So on Friday, we were talking about the SPY. Well, at least I was talking about the SPY potentially going sideways in a range for most of the day. And we got that in the morning. But then I think we had one of the Fed members come out and start talking. And whenever the Fed speaks, the market leaks. So we got that for the rest of the day, all the way down to beneath my next level that I have here for support, 494.50. We bounced off that. We're recovering today. When I take a closer look at the time frame, 5-minute chart here, as soon as it loads here, one of the things I was noticing this morning is that we're bouncing off the 5% pullback level. Now, this is the level of 5% pullback off the all-time high that we made. That level that I have is 498.38. We're bumping the head up against that right now in pre-market. So whether we go through that or not remains to be seen. It's a visit up here 3 times already, so we could see it leak as soon as we open. If we do open and start to go down, my targets for the downside would be 494.50 again. Upside, of course, would be 500 and 503. That's about all the levels I have for SPY. And if we continue to go down further, there's other levels that I have, but I'm really not going to, I'm talking like 485, but there's some other trend lines that I think we might be coming up across first. But when we get down there, we'll talk about those. But for now, I think we just want to be paying attention to what happens to that 5% pullback level at 498.38. See if we get above that. If we can't, I think we're continuing to head down.
Okay. And I am back. All right. Awesome. Thank you very much, 13.
Sure.
Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the smaller movers. Then we can go through whatever the chat wants to take a look at here today. So Let me click over to the movers tool. We did notice that there are some moving here this morning, but not a whole lot. Seems relatively muted. And some of the moves that are happening don't actually seem to have news catalysts behind them. So let's focus on that as well. First one here is going to be MLEC. This is ticker MLEC. This is Moolec Science. Moolec Science shares trading higher after the company announced it had received USDA approval for plant-grown animal proteins. So that PR here driving the stock about 100%. Really not sure what to make of this, other than that this is clearly turning this into a potential trade here today. Volume looks good in the pre-market. This stock, this micro cap stock, on average trades about 70,000 shares a day, which is pretty much nothing. Today here, already 27 million in shares traded. So we'll see where we end up finishing on this one here today. Ticker MLEC, going to be gapping here and first on our list. Do you have anything on MLEC 13?
Not quite sure about the science behind plant-grown animal proteins. That's kind of interesting to me. But if this is getting USDA approval, well, then I think it maybe warrants a closer look. Does have a small float at 4.36 million shares. This was a former SPAC, light jump acquisition, merged with this company back in January of 2023, and now it looks like this is the big move that they've been waiting for, the USDA approval. So we'll see what happens with this. Not quite sure, where this goes from here, but hopefully we can make a lot of moolah off of Moolec today.
I like what you did there. Yeah, I'm with you on this. I don't necessarily understand all of this. STFU, I'm with you. Give me a real natural food. I don't care about all the synthesized stuff. However, clearly we're being shown an opportunity here today. So we'll see if this actually gives us an opportunity when the market opens. We did kind of bounce around here a little bit. We've broken the low and the VWAP. So next thing we definitely want here is going to be a reclaim on volume. We'll see if we end up getting that. Next here on the list is going to be ticker NIVF. This is New Geneve. I'm not even New Gen IVF. Shares are trading higher after the company signed a non-binding term sheet for potential reverse merger with European Wellness Investment Holdings. All right, 13, not to put you on the spot, but did you look at this one at all? I'll be honest, I did not. When I first went through the list here, this one actually wasn't on. It looks like it is popping on some considerable volume here. On average, this trades around 644,000 shares. Session volume today about 6.3 million. So we'll see where this ends up finishing up today. Do you have anything on this one? Not
really, because the news just broke about 15 minutes ago. But what I can see here from the news is, I'll read it off. It says it signed New Gen IVF signs non-binding agreement term sheet for potential reverse merger with European Wellness Investment Holdings. New Gen issues 53.6 million of ordinary shares to shareholders of EWIHL or associate in exchange for 100% equity interest at $5 a share. Represents aggregate amount of 268 million. I guess I'll need a little bit of help with what all that means there, but it seems to me like there might be a price target of $5 a share with this. I don't know. I'm not quite sure how this all plays out, but this is new. I don't have any research on this one yet.
Yeah, no, it was new to me too, and that's why I figured I'd check with you. That's totally fine. Like I said, I haven't gone through any of this one at all. I've actually never even pulled this one up before. I'm kind of going to be careful with some of these smaller names as it is. This is a stock that was a penny stock that's now kind of diving into dollar stock territory. We did lose the VWAP here, so we'll see if we have any strength to reclaim that. Only about 3 cents away from where we're at. Next here is going to be NKGN. This is NKGen Biotech. This actually had 2 spikes above 180. If you take a look at the news here, I don't have anything from this week. Last piece of news here was from last week, so I don't really consider that fresh. This one of those that seems to continue here, maybe I guess just on relative volume from the candle that it put in on Friday. We had big volume on Friday. We had the stock move from about 90 cents to $1.15, up above $1.50 at its high. It looks like it's trying to do that here again. The one thing that I can say from Friday's session, this thing had a real huge run and was no stranger to giving most of it back. So I'd watch that again here. No fresh news with this one. What are you thinking here? NKGN 13.
I think you're right. This does look
Yeah.
like it's just relative volume. You look at a daily chart and you can see that we've had some really, really low volume up until Friday. And now we have even more volume today. So I think you're right. And it doesn't look like this is going to do a whole lot, especially with these large upper shadows that the stock is putting in on the daily chart. So yeah, I agree. Be careful with this one. Maybe it runs, maybe it doesn't, but just know that there appears to be some upside resistance here.
Okay, just a couple of more to move through here real quick. I'm actually going to start with CLSK, Mara, and Riot, and I'm going to cover them together. All of these stocks a little bit higher today. We had the Bitcoin halving happen Friday evening, Saturday, whenever that time was. To me, the only thing that is really news from this entire thing, guess what? The halving was baked into the price. Not a whole lot going on here. We're currently holding at about 66,000. I understand Bitcoin gyrated a little bit on the weekend, but we haven't had any really kind of huge move here post-halving. Let's see what these stocks do. They're obviously trading up. Bitcoin is up since where it was on Friday. Some of these stocks are up with them. But again, big takeaway here, halving was already pretty much priced in. This is something that Anne-Marie said when we talked about some of those Bitcoin names. Did you have anything here on these Bitcoin names, or can I move to AGBA?
No, let's move to AGBA.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't really think there's a whole lot going on. Plus,
We already know what's going on with those.
We already know what's going on with Bitcoin. Okay, AGBA. This is one that we had as a item from Friday. It popped. Actually, gave a number of different trades here. Really struggled to pop above and then move away from the VWAP, but it was able to reclaim that VWAP a few times. Today, it looks like we are trying to take the next leg higher. Now, in the pre-market today, we did take out that 164 high that was set on Friday. We did not really kind of close above it. We kind of just broke above it and came back in. So I'm not sure that this is ready to go, but we'll obviously keep this on radar here. If we get any type of big volume flow like we saw on Friday, maybe we do cross through that 160, take out some of those highs and get a trade here out of the gate. Otherwise, if we pull back to the VWAP, maybe one of these support levels, I've got a 140 and 130 here. Maybe we'll get one of the trades from a pullback area there. So we'll try that on AGBA. I see a number of you are already kind of watching this one. Witt said he's bullish on AGBA already. Crow saying AGBA multi-day runner. So looks like just some other traders gearing up for AGBA today. We'll see where this one goes. 13, did you have anything else on this one?
It's not moving on any news this morning, but this is the one that's merging with Triller. And they if you want to do the math and kind of get an idea of what the valuation is going to be of this post merger, you might get be able to see what this potentially could trade up to. I think that's the big takeaway here, because they were putting out some numbers. I think 4 billion is the figure that they're expected to reach upon the close of this merger. So something to keep in mind. I don't have a price target for this, but my guess, just looking at the chart, is that this thing looks like it wants to go to $4 at least. I don't know if that's what's going to happen, but just based on what I'm seeing on the chart, that seems like a pretty ripe target for upside.
Okay, let's see if we end up getting that. That'd be a nice little move here if we do get that. TRSG, this is another one here. This was a halt fest on Friday. Looks like this is kind of starting to curl here in the pre-market. This is Tongue Gray Technologies. This thing trades on average about 2.6 million shares, traded about a million, just shy of a million shares here this morning. We'll see if this ends up getting rolling here. This one kind of a new issue, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an IPO on Friday, so you're not going to have a lot of history on this one.
Nope. So we'll see here. Now, the last IPO wasn't the last one that, the last one we kind of took a look at. Wasn't that MNDR? That thing has been absolutely crazy. This went to 37 in the after hours on Friday. Now it's still here at 25. I know one of our chatters got this here in a 6 handle. So you can see that some of these new IPOs really do run. I'm not sure how to value these things at all. TRSG, one of those, we'll be watching to see if we have another kind of a multi-day move here like we did in MNDR. Okay.
No, I don't have anything with TRSG. It's too new.
Yeah, and neither do I. And ADIL here, this was another stock that we actually did some exclusive news here on this morning.
Yep.
Looks like they were granted another key patent. We'll see if this ends up moving the stock. You did get that news 30 minutes prior to the PR. Let's see if this actually takes off here today. Okay, let me flip over to my main works. We may actually go to the chart tool here because we're probably going to take a look at some other stocks here from the chat. I see a number of you shouting some names out, so that's great. Before we do that, I do want to mention that the stream is sponsored by Trade the Pool. If you need help getting above that 25K day trading threshold, they could be the answer. Or if you just need some more buying power for some leverage, they could help you with that. We do have some cool things coming down the pike here, so stay tuned. Stay tuned with that. I mean, I'm definitely excited to go into some of those newer things here in a little bit. Okay. What stocks do you folks want to take a look at here today? I know a number of you folks mentioned Riot and all of that. We'll see what happens when the market actually opens here. Like I said, Bitcoin, that halving news pretty much priced in. Lynn was saying, good morning, hockey hangover here. Yeah, I bet. Did Nashville end up winning that game? I actually went to sleep before that game ended. But the games over the weekend were absolutely awesome. Welcome back.
I see Lion Atlas mentioning NVTS.
Let's do it.
This one, I don't see any news, but it does have a high short interest with almost 6 days to cover. So that could be a bit of a squeeze here. I don't know what else is pushing this up, but that's would be my take on it.
Yeah, daily chart here. So we definitely have some resistance right around, some support right around 3 on NVTS. To your point here, if we take a look at the news, I don't see any new news here. The short interest that you had mentioned, we have almost 18% of the float shorted in a days to cover of just shy of 6. So over that 5 threshold that we like to look at here. This is really going to, I guess, need some volume. Daily chart looks really terrible here. I'll be honest with you. This looks really, really bad. All of these moving averages are pitching down. Prices beneath all of them recently just took out a low. At some point, this thing will likely bounce. We kind of want to wait and see if this can bottom out here. Otherwise, chart looking pretty poor. Looking pretty poor here today. Okay, next here, I see DJT. How did we get through that without covering DJT? Let's take a look and see what this is doing here today. This actually had a decent move on Friday. We had a move in the pre-market, then a move later in the afternoon. Really not doing much of anything here. I'd wait for this to really kind of fall out. 33, some support on the downside, only 2 points away here. Definitely some resistance at 37. Trading vehicle only here on DJT.
I like 33 support. It does kind of look like it's rolling over. If it falls through that, it might come down to 30, maybe lower.
Okay, there you go on DJT. Let's take a look at Root. This is one that we've talked about quite a bit recently. Let me go to a daily chart here so you can see the actual chart formation. Where's the bounce coming? Right, we had this total vertical move here, really stopped right around 86. Now it's come back in about 30 some points. I think at some point we have to bounce here. Looking at some of these moving averages, got 44.69 is the 50-day moving average. Does look like there might kind of be some support in here, but it's really shaky. And the other thing here is that it looks like the price is trying to bottom. Let's see if this actually holds up here on Root. Crow, I know you'd be looking at Root here for a reversal if this started to go.
Yeah, I like the 50 as well.
Okay. Awesome. Jay, good morning, Jay. How about Scotty, man? 5 wins in a row. Dude is absolutely machine. I feel like we're watching the best golf since Prime Tiger with Scotty Scheffler right now. Anyway, happy Monday. Good to see you. Jay mentioning that the rumor was Citadel was naked shorting DJT. Okay, well, I can't speak to that. The one thing I will say is that I am more on the page of I should probably stay away from DJT. Feel like I'm likely to make a mess of things instead of actually walking away with some cash there. But good to know here, DJT. Good morning, Larry. Great to see you. Jay mentioning Root. I think they have earnings this week. I can actually check on that for you, especially if they were confirmed. It's not this week, Jay. It's next Tuesday. So on Root, earnings are confirmed for Tuesday, April 30th after the close. So a week from tomorrow, we're going to get earnings on Root. You were really close there, though. Okay, GL was another one being mentioned here. We talked a little bit about this. Boy, the bounce continues here, right? So this was the move down on the short report. I think it was Fuzzy Panda. I'm having trouble following all of these names, to be quite honest with you, but I believe it was Fuzzy Panda. The bounce here on Globe has been slow and steady. I'm really proud of our chat. A lot of you guys took some calls for kind of like a YOLO trade here on this one. Those calls have moved into the money now on a lot of those. Awesome stuff from you guys here on on GL. So this looks like this is continuing here, $68 here in the pre-market. You got any thought on where the GL bounce might stop?
No, I haven't been following that one. Let me take a look at daily chart. Maybe I could tell you something right off the bat, but to me, this looks like it's just going to end up going lower.
GL,
I mean,
you think?
Yeah, I mean, just based on the chart formation, maybe that that these short reports sometimes they don't pan out to the and they just get like that one with iNod where it just nothing came out of it. Didn't seem correct in any capacity.
Mm-hmm.
So they could come off that. I don't know about this one. I don't know anything about the company really. And the chart, the daily chart, just does not look great to me. So that's the only reason why I'm saying more downside, just because of the daily chart.
Yeah, when you play some of these that seem really like dead cat bounces, I mean, this stock got absolutely shelled. So when you're playing some of these dead cat bounces, this is another one of those where it can kind of reverse at any time. So 13, to your point, this could kind of reverse today and trade back down.
Sure.
Always a good idea to pay yourself on the way up on these, even perhaps more so on these than on some of those day trades. Now, if you're using options, you probably got a pretty, you're probably in the money, and you can probably shave some of those to really kind of protect the rest of the trade. That's how and then set a stop. That's how I would attack GL here, but really good stuff for those of you already on top of this one. Okay, let's see what other stocks you folks want to take a look at. NIVF, okay. ADA, you guys are just arguing about DJT. We're not even going to cover that. LMT. Well, I'm sorry.
We already did.
Yeah, no, I mean the back and forth, like the political back and forth is completely unimportant. LMT here, this actually looks like this is trying to break out on LMT. This is actually a really nice looking daily chart, given the environment that we find ourselves in. Really kind of like the thesis here on LMT. Watch if we break out of this 465, 470 area. That could take us to the next consolidation area. Got that at about 485. And then if we really kind of flip over to the weekly chart here, it really looks like a potential break of the all-time high here at 500 on deck if this thing can really kind of hold some of its strength. I can never remember I know that you like some of these defense companies at different periods, 13, but to be honest with you, I can never remember exactly where you're at with them. So I'm not gonna guess.
I'm in this one.
Okay, so you are in this one, and you're looking here. You'd really love a 500 break on this one, I'm guessing.
Sure, I would. Of course, I would. I think that's a great target to have.
Yeah.
It seems to me like the daily RSI is a bit high right now. So if we do break out here, then I would anticipate some selling out of that off that breakout, just to get the RSI down to something more manageable before we start heading higher. I think we could see 500 and then the selling, but if we don't see 500 before the selling, then that would be the next upside target. So it wouldn't surprise me if we don't hit 500.
Okay. There we go. LMT, really good stuff there. All right. One of the other stocks that we should take a look at here is Netflix. They, of course, reported earnings
we have
yesterday.
15 seconds.
Oh, I guess we really shouldn't take a look at that. Here is Netflix, by the way, right at that 100. We'll see where this goes. All right, folks, let's take a look and see. I'm actually don't have access to the Trade the Pool broker here today, so I'm going to be watching Benzinga Pro, but we will take a look at anything that you folks want to take a look at here. Good luck. It's open. Another week is upon us. Let's get it, folks.
It looks like MLEC is trying to push up out of the open here.
MLEC fell off my RVOL scanner there, right at the open.
I think it's trying to push to 330.
It's like NVIDIA calls got bought right out of the open here. MLEC flirting with that 3.
And sorry we couldn't get to all the tickers. There was a lot to cover.
Yeah, I could still get to some. We can still kind of flip through them.
Sure. You guys are hitting DJT hard.
MLEC busted through 3 here. Oh, geez. Yeah, DJT's first move here was up through 35, so that might be why.
If we get a breakdown in MLEC, I'm looking for 245 and 220 as downside support levels.
Here is your move down here on MLEC, 285 now. We actually went right through it. That's interesting. That first move was sunk right through the VWAP. Should find some support right in here. We're close. Let's see if it bounces right here on MLEC. AMC being mentioned here by the chat.
NKGN falling out of the gate here. If we get some support,
AMC is not doing anything, guys. Come on.
If we get some support around 117, we might see reversal. So we'll see. It's almost there.
NIVF. This is one of the stocks that we talked about. This popped right to the VWAP. Is this halted? No.
AGBA. This one got some strength out of the open. Trying to get up to the pre-market high of 169.
Take a look at that one. Here is AGBA. This actually did a really good job of holding its VWAP here. Look for AGBA. First spot here, 162 on AGBA. NIVF is halted, by the way. So is Edible. I know we traded that last week. That's halted here out of the gate as well.
Oh, wow.
DJT immediately yanked off that 36 test. That's back in.
NIVF. I like that, that setup.
Yep, and that's halted here. AGBA going for that 163 spot. There it is. Took that. Next spot I have is the pre-market high here, 169 on AGBA.
Yep, almost there. If we break through this, the next upside target I have is 193.
Yeah. And then NIVF is halted. Where did that end up? Was that halted right at that spot? Yeah, right above VWAP. So actually watch for this to unhalt and take out that 154 in NIVF. That was halted here at 931. So I think that's a 10-minute halt. We'll see. 10 or 5-minute halt. That should be opening up a little bit here. Here's AGBA still going for that 169 high. Looks like that's coming here. DJT, by the way, continues to pull as that moves through 35 to the downside.
MLEC couldn't hold over 3, but it's still holding over 280. MNDR that we were talking about earlier, that's halted.
Yeah, that just halted here. 932 MNDR. Was that a downside halt?
No. It looks like it opened, went down, and then immediately got right back up, and that's when it got halted. When it
and bounced into that, bounced into that upside halt. Interesting.
Okay, just looking at some of these other Bitcoin names. I think I'll just go back to these other ones. All right, MLEC now back above 3. Buyers came in.
Yep, and MLEC, this looks like this is going to try and go higher here. I'm going to actually bring up MLEC in my broker as well in case we end up trading this one. I want to stay away from this. And you know what? I'm also going to kind of watch some of those those ETFs. By the way, SPY struggling here with 498. Remember, that really does need to get above 500 to show some bullishness in there. We'll see. SOXS is curling up here. That was a great trade from Friday, by the way. Ended up going on to trade that throughout the rest of the day. Didn't keep any for the weekend, and I think that was the right move. MLEC stopping here at 308.
Yeah. There's a lot of sellers at 320.
I see 306 now.
Yeah, 310 has got a bit of a wall building there, but it's trying to push through it right now.
And it's hitting it. There it goes.
Yeah, it is.
There's 311. Good band, by the way, 311. All right, let's see if this can actually get higher here and take out some of these pre-market highs. I've got 324 and 331 as those pre-market highs. All right, what are you folks taking a look at here? Love to seeing you here this Monday morning. It seems like kind of a slow morning. There it is, 320. That's breaking here. MLEC. Yep. There's 324. There was size at 324 there too. Watch that go. I'll pull it off. Maybe not on his first attempt here.
Yeah, now they're pushing it. Now, if it comes back in a bit, we're going to want to see that support at 3. So if we can hold 3 for the next 5 minutes or so, we could get a break through that 325 unless you try to take it here.
Real quick, STFU giving you an MNDR call here. Bounced off the pre-market low and came back. I think MNDR is going to blow straight past its 29.39 yesterday high. That'd be from Friday, by the way. Still watching MLEC here. I want to move through 325, which is the high print. 331, the pre-market high.
Certainly a fight right there.
Netflix continuing to trade down. Apple looks like it's trying to go higher, but it needs some more strength to do that. Bitcoin did pull back here, 65.8 on the futures chart on Bitcoin.
All right, so MLEC could not get above 325. Just need to see if $3 will be strong enough support. Looks like we had NIVF unhalted, and it is pushing up.
That was a 5-minute halt, by the way, on NIVF. I'm going to screw that ticker up here today, 13. I'm trying, but I'm going to screw that one up. Gold getting smoked here. Jay, what do you make of that? What do you make of that? What do you make of the safety trade coming in a little bit here on gold?
You know, it seems like it's coming in because nothing really escalated further from that Israeli-Iran conflict for the moment.
That's exactly where I was going. Awesome job reading my mind there. That's kind of where I was going with that comment there on gold.
I mean, at the same time, what's oil doing? That should probably have eased a bit, right?
Oil down about 1.5% here. Crude futures at 81, just under that.
And Jay, you're absolutely right.
Mentioning that gold is overbought here, and I agree with that completely.
There was a huge run recently in gold and silver, so absolutely, there's that too. Yeah.
Also, a massive pickup in the We Buy Gold commercials on TV, which I've noticed quite a bit.
Well, all those people that went shopping at Costco recently should be tuning in. Sell their gold.
You know, it's funny. I was at Costco over the weekend, and I always get there right when it opens on Saturday, a little bit early. Sometimes they don't open the door right on time. So there's a crowd of people there. And when they started opening it, there was a guy waiting in line that was like, all right, everyone's going to rush for the gold bars. And I don't know if that's true, but clearly people are reading about that and seeing it.
NIVF halted to the upside again after breaking the pre-market high. Now it's at 155.
MLEC looks like that's going here for that pre-market high. I didn't even want to take this off here. Here is NIVF. That right at that. We'll see if that halts here. Here's MLEC.
It's trying to take out that 325 this time, and then also 330. So let's see if this visit up here gets it.
Remember, we said it didn't have that strength on that first attempt. Volume looking real good here on MLEC. This is what we wanted to see. Let's see if 325 falls.
Volume needs to pick up a bit more here so we can push through that 330. Ooh.
Lion Atlas saying oil and gold companies will start reporting next week. I'm buying the dip. So you're looking like you're trying to play that for earnings on those. Let us know what names you actually get exposure to. MLEC still flirting with the 320 level here. That 325 is the spot.
AGBA got slapped
big knife
down.
coming on MLEC here. Knife coming on MLEC right here. Let's see if it bottoms out here. 282 going to be that low area. Oh, wow. Snapped right through it. Careful. Weakness on MLEC here, folks.
248. That's the support level I'm looking at right now.
I'll tell you what, they're bringing in bids, but the selling's fairly relentless here.
Yeah, those could be shorts covering.
Lower we go here on MLEC. Wow. Big pull. I'd be careful about buying a knife on this one. I'd wait for this to kind of confirm a bottom here. We've seen multiple legs just in this candle.
MNDR is posting huge candles. I'm going to take a look at that.
Oops, put that in my wrong broker here. Let me do that. MNDR. That actually... Yeah, that's not on the volume scan. There's nothing going on in MNDR. It's really just kind of hold it in here. SPBC, this is a penny stock.
Well, I think he's talking about the first a couple of candles that we've been posting since the open. They are kind of sizable. Now we're in the middle of making a smaller one.
Snapchat pulling back to a support level here. I'm kind of going through some of the unusual options here. JPM higher. See if JPM can make another move at 200 here.
Morning, Smoke Tuna. It looks like line analyst
Good morning.
mentioning the oil names.
Okay. So CVX, XOM, and Newmont, NEM, right? That is
I
Newmont,
believe,
right? Yeah,
yeah,
Newmont. Yeah. Just testing myself, just making sure I got it. MLEC down here, 270. Actually, looks like this might try and go lower on MLEC. Careful on that one. TRSG halted up. That was another one that we talked about here this morning. That's one of the new issues. This very similar to NIVF, right? We popped right above the VWAP and halted right there. Let's see if we end up going another leg higher here. TRSG. By the way, MLEC, MLEC, this actually looking like it's taking the next leg lower here. That 260 handle did not hold.
Looks like AGBA is trying to take out that 169.
AGBA appearing on the relative volume scanner right as you said that, 13. See if 170 falls here, 169, 170. You're right.
Yeah, it's got a lot of volume to come on in here. There's a lot of sell orders from here up all the way to 185.
Around here at some of the other stuffs.
All right, MLEC is almost down to that 65 EMA on the 5-minute.
Poet. This actually looks like this is curling and making a move towards 150 on Poet. POET. LXRX popping here. Did we have any news on this one? Yeah, no, that was from Thursday of last week. Never mind.
What's going on with AGBA? Oh, there we go. We pushed
there
through.
It is, right to 169 and 170. There it is, and through.
Does it keep going, or is it? Oh, no, there it goes. 193 is the next upside target I have.
Eyes here at 175 that they're hitting. So that looks like that's real there. They took some of it and refreshed it. They're on it again. They're taking it, and there it goes, and through. Oh, my gosh. Buying volume looking good here, AGBA.
Yep.
You know, depending on where you have this, you might consider selling into this buying strength right here just to lock in some of those gains.
NIVF is out of the halt and higher now, 170 and going up.
This actually is going to halt here again, I think, if they hold it at 177, isn't it?
I think it really just depends on the
no, they're not holding it here anyway, yeah.
All right, so AGBA finding a bit of resistance at 180. So we want to see this get some support from the 166, 160 to 169 area. MLEC.
And IVF has a lot of room to run. Okay, so you guys are mentioning Lululemon. That's kind of what I wanted to take a look at here. Paul mentioned that Lulu is moving. Jay mentioned a Lulu had been bid the past 5 to 6 days. So here's the visual representation of what Jay is saying here. If we take a look at the daily chart here, you're right. Maybe we did kind of find a bottom here, 332. The one thing I will say is we're right here at this 360 level. I'd like to see a close above this level. This clearly a resistance back from, when is this, March? Yeah, late March of 2023. I'd like to move above this. We can get above this and close it. I think we can start the ascent towards 400 and then maybe even get into the gap here on Lulu. You know, we'll see if the consumer is in fact weakening. We'll see if this is able to put up numbers over the next few quarters. But you're right, Jay. This has been bid the last couple of days here. Lulu looking pretty good.
NIVF is now looking like it's going to get halted to the downside here. There it is, halted. AGBA came down. AGBA came down and found that support that I was talking about between 166, 169. It's trying to move back up now.
This actually wouldn't be bad, right? This was a spot that we broke to the upside. If we back test it, hold, and move higher, that'd be great for another move higher here, this 169, 170 level on AGBA.
Yep, currently trying to see if we can get through 173, and then 180 is next. 179, 180.
NKGN, this from our list earlier here. This looks like this coming up off 122. Got a little bit of ways to the VWAP there, 148. Oh, I see Matterport got halted here today. We didn't even mention that. Oh, that's just barely trading there on Matterport, MTTR.
What's going on with
how's NVIDIA doing today? I see a lot of calls getting bought. Yep, sure is.
So Matterport's getting bought, apparently, or trying to. CoStar is to buy Matterport in $1.6 billion deal. CoStar Group to acquire Matterport in a cash and stock transaction valued at $5.50 per share, reflecting an estimated $1.6 billion value. Matterport stockholders will receive $2.75 in cash and $2.75 in shares of CoStar Group for each share of Matterport stock.
Okay, so 272 is the buyout on Matterport. Is that what I got from that?
Yeah, and then depending on how many shares you have, you'll also get another 2.75 in CoStar stock.
Okay, and the stock price here is $1.78. So, okay, there you go, Matterport. Weren't you mentioning that might be something that kind of
this is
way into the real estate field?
Yes, because of their ability to scan entire rooms and model model them for 3D walkthroughs. But I don't think that's limited to just the real estate industry. I think they're using it on factory floors and warehouses and things like that too. But yes, there is a real estate angle to this, and Felicia even pointed that out.
Crow mentioning Agba thinks he's going to take out 2 any moment here. AGBA. By the way, that kind of reminds me. So, we've talked a lot about this being draft week. We're going to have a lot of special one-time content on Thursday, preparation for the draft. I'm even doing a draft recap where we're actually going to talk about all the picks as they're being made in the evening. So definitely check out what we got going all day. We are going to start with live trading in the morning, 13. So I hope you're ready. But then we're going to quickly shift gears into NFL draft mode. Really, really excited to hammer this out with the team.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm excited.
We're expecting a couple of dollars in AGBA any moment, or $2+ I see. Okay.
AGBA, that 180 is going to be the first spot that it's got to take out. Let's take a look at some of the other stocks that we've been kind of waiting on here.
MLEC down at that 65 EMA, looking for some support. If we're not getting it here, then the next level is 220.
Let me bring MLEC up here. It was actually, I'll do that on another chart real fast. I'm like, that thing might have just that. I'll tell you what, that reversal was nasty. By the way, Netflix here, this is one of the reasons why I was watching Netflix around the open. You can see it was really riding right on that 100-day. 100-day, I have it 550.85. Looks like we're actually breaking beneath that. Tell you what, a move down here to the 200-day, that'd be great for a potential swing trade. I want to take a look at a couple of these others that we talked about for potential swing trades. We talked about Accenture recently. Accenture is actually moving up here. It's having a little bit of a weekday here today, but it has moved off that 315 bottom. Here's PanW. This is another one that we've been watching here. This actually looks like this is going to try and go as well. 285 cross to the upside. I think PanW long trigger. See if we can get above that 50-day.
Yeah, it really does look like AGBA is about to have a violent move. Just a lot of orders getting built up. Matterport's open and it is rocketing.
480 on Matterport, going higher here, going towards 5. Wow. We've got Kalu thanking Trump, so that has me thinking that DJT is moving to the upside here. Oh, look at that. DJT looking like this is going to try and break 37.50, which was your pre-market high from Friday. Kalu Kalu, you're making a habit of getting register rings every morning, and I gotta say, it's really awesome.
Yeah.
So it's really funny.
Keep them coming, man.
Your comment here was kind of funny. It made me check that out here. DJT looking like this is curling to the high. Let's get back here to AGBA. This one here, right at that 180 spot. Let's see if this breaks it. I do show a lot of size here that they are actually hitting. So we are actually printing up here. There it goes. Bang, and through here now. 2-cent pop above that, 4-cent pop above that. Let's see if this sets up or knifes like MLEC did.
Not the greatest looking wicks there.
So this did knife. So again, these upside breaks that we're seeing, we literally just watched AGBA happen now. There was a period where this was the trading strategy, right? Wait for those upside breaks, wait for stocks that showed momentum, and then capture the pop through that break to the upside. Well, this is what's changed. Now that they break them through, they may take them 4 or 5 cents, but then they knife them 20 cents. Very, very difficult to do that. It's one of the reasons I've kind of moved away from these. You really kind of have to hold through some of these pulls. That's not me. Sorry, 13.
No, it's NIVF just absolutely knifed out of the open of the halt. MLEC actually getting support down here at their 65 EMA. We'll look to see if it can curl off that momentum and come back up.
Good morning, Sally. Hope you had a great weekend. Sally mentioning Zim here. Zim is trading up here. Really what we want to see on Zim is if we can get above that 1045. I know we talk about some of the technicals on this one, but obviously there's a lot going on in the real world that's going to affect it. Good morning, Sally. Happy Monday. Also mentioning GCT. That's Giga Cloud. That's Sydney's GCT, if I'm not mistaken. This actually looking like this might curl through 40 here. We'll see on GCT.
Yeah, that was a great mention by Matterport. I didn't even know that was what was happening with that.
Yeah, neither did I. Just kind of saw it halted, and then we figured that. Thanks, Benzinga Pro, though. There's another example of we just didn't have anything on the radar. Something happens, boom, boom, boom. Put the pieces together real quick here. Kalu out DJT. Kalu, is that a register ring? I think it is. Trading that on the way up there. Great job. And you know what? We've talked about this all the time. Anyone that is able to actually trade this for a gain, great job separating all of the noise that's going on TV, all of the noise that's going on the internet, and recognizing that, hey, this is a vehicle that I can make money on, so I'm going to go do that. Good stuff there, Kalu, and really good discipline being able to do that kind of thing. AGBA 193, your high, currently sitting at 190. I tell you, who called that this was going to 2? Was that a crow call again? Because I think that's absolutely what's going to happen here, AGBA.
Yep, it sure was him. Right to 193 too. That was nice, nice level there. If we break through that and get above 2, the next target I have is 222. It looks like MLEC is really starting to break down here. Got 220 as the next support level.
I'll switch over to MLEC here in a sec. Tesla, big bounce off that pull. We had news here. Tesla shares are rallying after the company reduced vehicle prices in the U.S., Germany, and China. That's getting bought here. Let me flip over to MLEC really quick, 13. This definitely, man, I tell you what, this thing is, that pull was so nasty. That took just a complete reversal here. This rolling. What's up? What are you seeing?
AGBA just took out a huge wall, and it is going now. It took out a 40,000 share wall at 193.
There's 2.
And it's coming up to 2. So we'll probably get it could see a breakout here, and then maybe comes back in a bit. But
they're refilling 2.
Yeah.
They're refilling 2 right here. 190 traded 2x volume that 2 did, and 180 traded 3x volume, it looks like.
Nice one. NIBF still halted. That one came. Oof. I don't know about NIBF. Maybe we find some support around $1. We'll see. Might have halts.
Here we go at 2 AGBA. Lion Atlas saying I'm lightening half the position. Lion, that's a great trade, dude. You're gonna get a 1-up for that one for sure.
He's roaring hard today.
SMCI tanking saying wellness matters. That would be really interesting. Remember, we were looking at SMCI and NVIDIA for potential SOXS entry. So here you go. SMCI did try and bounce this morning, but has completely turned around here. What does the SOSX look like? Okay, this actually moved lower. Remember, this is what it did on Friday, right? Moved a little bit lower and then ripped. Let's see if we get that the rest of the day here. I'm going to go back to AGBA because I know we're still kind of fighting up here. Sorry, 13.
The pre-market low for SMCI is 688. And if we head down there and test that level, look for reversal or breakdown. MLX still hasn't quite found the bottom yet, but it looks like it might be slowing down.
AGBA looks like it might start gearing here right around 190 for its next attempt at 2. If it breaks down from here and back into a 180, 170 handle, actually I would say a 170 handle, I would say it's going to take some more work to get back up here. A lot of volume traded between 180 and 173.
I do like AGBA coming down to find support at 180. I think that would be a good move for it to go higher.
Okay.
It's a bit overbought up here at 2, so we want to kind of see it come down a bit. I think 180 is a good spot. We're getting a mention on EDBL. This is another ex-girlfriend. Forgot how long it's been since we traded. I don't want to say last week. I want to say it's been longer than that.
No, I'm pretty sure it was last week, wasn't it?
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, it was Wednesday of last week where it had that absolute ridiculous day where it halted a bunch of times and then completely round tripped, went negative the next day on Thursday.
Gotcha. That's right.
So we're actually traded right back up to the bottom end of the pre-market consolidation range before we ended up taking off and going to 12, EDBL.
Yeah, let's see what happens when this gets up into above 615 and as high as 680. There's some consolidation in there from the the Thursday pre-market.
What's interesting about this one here is that this got popped on volume to the highs and then halted there. So we'll see.
All right, looks like MLEC is trying to find the bottom here and turn around.
240, it's trying to bottom out there.
Yeah.
AGBA stopped at that 2 area. It really hasn't broke down much here. Oh, there we go. Now, just as I said that, it yanked a little bit more. All I got to do is talk about it. Actually, really quick before I ruin anyone else's trade, just pardon me for 1 sec while I blow my nose.
Sure. I'm just taking a look at ASML, close to 850. And you're asking this gap here that was put in January that goes from about, 778 to 826. You're asking if that this is a buy for that gap to fill. So I can't give advice. I think that right now it's trying to find a bottom for the moment, and the RSI is showing that it was previously pretty oversold. I think we're going to see some buying, maybe up to about 890 before we start to go down. So I really don't know if that's a good idea to try to play the gap fill now. I think that the selling may have slowed down, and I would want to see indication that we're going to be heading lower still before I tried to play that gap fill. So I'm at this particular stage, I'm not sure I would be going here, short here for the gap. I think that we might see some consolidation or some bouncing. So the timing just might not be right for that play. Jonathan Cooper was asking about ASML and if he thinks that gap filling to the downside is worth a play. And I think that we need to see some more indication of further downside first. I think we're consolidating right now.
Yeah, I'm with you on seeing more information about moving down there, but his initial thesis, yes, I absolutely think that this can get filled. One thing I will say here is if this does come in and kind of bounces off the top end of that gap, let's call it 830. If we do get the bounce that 13 was just talking about, and that bounce really starts to kind of roll over, I think that might actually be your better short entry than anything right here, frankly. Just to 13's point, let it try and bounce one more time and then short the weakness if it does present weakness, because that might actually take you into the gap and then fill that.
Yeah.
Good stuff there, 13.
Hey, you too, man.
Good stuff there. Look, I'm just trying to have a nice
Green Monday.
Green Monday, and I am so far here.
AGBA coming back in. We're almost to VWAP now, so this is right about where the area is where I'd want to see the bounce. I was talking 180, and we're just beneath that. So this is about the area where I want to see support if we're going to go higher in AGBA.
I've got VWAP at 170. So it could come in a little bit more there.
Yeah, maybe one more red candle on the 5-minute, and then we turn around. We'll see.
GL 69. Wow, man! I'll tell you what. We'll play this together. You folks that took calls on this, I don't know what I was doing the day that this was really kind of falling out. I feel like I was looking at something else here. You folks, just an absolute master class on defining your risk on this dead cat bounce. I think some of you were playing 65 calls. These are almost 5 points in the money at that point. And you probably could have played 60 calls because we really consolidated around that 58 to 60 level. Just really, really good stuff to see this on this one here. Should have played that with you folks. That was stupid of me.
And this is what I get for not knowing anything about GL.
Well, you know what though? Just we talked about it the day that it happened. Fuzzy Panda, this, that, and the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Throw a few shekels at some 65 calls. Your risk is defined. You can't possibly. That was the move. We talk all the time about process and risk management. There was great risk to reward on that trade, and just didn't even look at it. You folks did though.
EDBL unhalted, as Market Sniper was mentioning, and it is going higher.
Yeah, here DJAF. Mentioning it here, 60, 70, 80 calls. You could have taken those out several months and had some exposure to a potential dead cat bounce. You're absolutely right, DJF. And Lion Atlas killing it on those 65 calls. We'll give you another register ring here. Let me know when you close them up. EDBL is popping higher here.
Looks like Reddit.
Was someone on SMFL last week? I feel like this one got a number of mentions. Yeah, it did. It was here. It was in the after hours on Wednesday and then Thursday where it really disappointed. Now today, trading on some of the highest volume we've actually seen here. Volume looking really good on SMFL. This is the biggest volume day since April 8th where this thing really went wild. SMFL.
Zim really strong. Those covered calls that Zoltan did worked out really well for him.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. Zoltan with a really good strategy. Zoltan's kind of morphing into that covered call strategy, which I really like. NIVF here. Smoke Tuna mentioning this is trying to come back. Watch this on a reclaim here of the VWAP. Maybe you get some more juice on this one.
All right.
What is this? Ryan reminds me of Schroeder as he looks down at his screens. I don't know what that references to. Sorry, my man.
All right. Let's see if we're going to get MLEC to turn around here. Volume has really gone away from this stock, but if we start getting presented with good setup, we might see it return. EDBL got as high as 670, and it's coming back in now. It's under 6.
This is going to halt to the downside. This went right to VWAP here. I'll tell you what, this is all over the place. I'm okay not trading this one at all. Schroeder was a genius. Peanuts. Okay.
Oh, he's talking about the Peanuts gang. Yeah. Snoopy and all them. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I didn't realize. Yeah,
I'd
neither
get
did
that.
I. Like, Linus and Lucy and Snoopy are probably, and Charlie Brown, probably the ones that I know the best.
All right, AGBA, we're getting turned around here a bit.
Didn't quite come into that 169, but looks like it's trying to bounce off that. And around here at some other stuff. Netflix new lows here, 542. What a move on Netflix to the downside.
Yeah, it was really overvalued.
A moment of truth coming for SPY, close to testing that pre-market high. Now, remember that pre-market high, we're pretty much, and this is actually a really good call, Jonathan. Let me actually bring this on screen so we can take a look at it. Here is that pre-market level that you're talking about. At 490, I got this at 498 and some change here, but this is kind of what you're talking about. Now, remember, 500 is right above that, and we would love to see a close above that.
AGBA providing a good trade here. It's got to pick it up down at VWAP. I don't know that it gets back up to 193, but I'm paying myself on the way up here. Netflix.
Good job on that, 13.
Thanks. Netflix. I forget who was asking, Jonathan Cooper, I think maybe it was asking about ASML. Very, very similar chart with Netflix and ASML. So if there's a gap play you're looking for, you might have a shot here with the NFLX at some point. It's much closer to the gap as well.
Yeah, look, you're absolutely right about that one. Much, much closer. We're only a few points. We're 5 points off this.
There it is.
Schroeder was the pianist who always had his head down.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's one thing he did.
And so the theme song Linus and Lucy is one of the best piano pieces I think I've ever heard. Who was the artist for that? Let me look that up. I'm going to get his name wrong. If Linus and Lucy. Vince Guaraldi. I'm probably pronouncing his name right, and there are probably Italians out there that want to absolutely club me for missing that one.
NIVF is trying to retake VWAP. Not successful so far. NKGN. Volume on this one is so low. I'm not sure. I would even say, keep an eye on it for it to move up. It might, but need some more volume. What we got here? Zim is just a monster this morning, even though it looks like it might be finding a near-term top.
1050. 1050. Isn't this the level that we've talked about quite a bit on Zim? 1050 and 11 were levels. 10 was a level, I feel like.
It might be. Sorry, I'm distracted by MLEC actually catching a huge bid and trying to push higher. Oh, but it got taken right out. Sorry, I was just looking at something else.
I know, I'm joking. I'm joking, guys. Come on now. It's draft week, folks. It's draft week. We're out here having a great time. I can't wait to get on an airplane. Thankfully, it's not a Boeing plane. Might be a little too soon for me to make that joke since my return flight is a Boeing plane, but at least my flight out there is in Bardier or whatever. It's not a Boeing plane. So cheers.
EDBL halted to the downside. I think that may have been mentioned already. I don't know how long it's been halted, but we're getting the crow saying rent is due.
Oh no!
I like the way he put that one. So
no!
Consolidation in that one so far this morning.
This is barely up. I thought I was going to look over here and see this popping 40% or something like that. Glad I'm not. How's Lulu doing?
Brett, what are we looking at with Matterport? Are we looking at maybe this taking off and going higher? Because I think it's pretty close to the price that they were talking about it, being bought out at, or that the shareholders are going to get value at. I think it was like 550.
Lulu next leg up here, by the way. Wouldn't be surprised if this traded to 378. Lulu.
AGBA still turning around. Volume needs to be a little bit better, but it looks like it wants to try 193 again. Just need that volume to pick up. No position in anything right now. It's kind of looking for setups at the moment. Anybody else see anything? Hey, no problem, bro.
Lion is shorting Boeing on news that I'm flying to Detroit. Sorry. Yeah, I know you were asking for something serious, and I gave you something very unserious, so I apologize for that.
You gonna weigh the plane and the stock down?
I mean, I hope not. I hope it's not that bad. 13. I mean, my God. MNDR, you folks are looking at?
Yeah, that one's been sideways this morning.
Yeah, this really hasn't done anything since the open here.
I do like Boeing going a little bit lower, though. I would love to see it. I've been saying 165 for a while because we've been consolidating, sideways for a bit. I think maybe 165 is going to have to get revised a little bit lower to like 164 or 3. I want to see it touch the bottom of this broadening wedge that we have going on here since 2023, and then I would be a little bit more bullish on it. But I still want to see some downside into the mid to low 60s.
Bitcoin trying to move higher here on that futures chart.
Looks like we're starting to get some weakness in Zim. Doesn't mean it couldn't go higher later. Let's take a look at the broader market, see what's going on.
Yeah, kind of just in a holding pattern. SPY really not doing much of anything yet. Qs looked like they were going to try and make a move, but that kind of got sold right back down to balance. Didn't break down any further, just kind of sat there. Dow traded up a little bit. A lot of just kind of, it seems like people are still on weekend mode. That's kind of what I'm gathering here.
There has to be something going on today, like that we're waiting for. Yeah, look at that one, because I'm looking at the 5-minute SPY chart, and all it seems that we've done so far this morning is
chop.
Well, not just necessarily chop, but just try to push up back over the 5% pullback level. And every time we get a drop, we get immediately bought right back up as soon as we go beneath 497. This is immediately as soon as we hit 497 and go beneath it, that the buyers step in and take it right back up to 498 and consolidate there.
Lion saying, "Lol, Ryan, I did not mean it that way. I'm shorting Boeing going into the report on Friday." Lion, I'm just out here having some fun, my dude. It's all good.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just looking around for. Actually, I'm going to take a look at the calendar and see what's going on today. See if there's anything the market might be waiting for.
Yeah, all good. And I'm gonna bring on Joel at some point today. We'll talk to him, see what he sees in the markets.
All right.
And that's perfect because I actually missed pre-market prep today while I was preparing for the day here, dealing with a wild cat this morning as well.
I really don't see any. I don't see any economic news that market would be waiting for. Tomorrow we'll actually get something like new home sales. But today, I don't know. Maybe there's I don't know. What's going on with the market? Why is everything just kind of all flat? Like we're all waiting for something.
Jay here saying JPM 3-day rule working. So these last 3 days here, really nice bounce. JPM actually has a gap if we break above 188 here.
EDBL with a new intraday high, 672, and trying to push higher.
All of these forms on JP Morgan. Lynn saying massive morning sell-off not happening again today. Bought the bottom according to Kramer.
Yes, Lynn. PCE is Friday. We have GDP on Thursday. So we do have some economic news coming later this week, as well as some big earnings. I think we have Microsoft, Meta. I'm just going to look them up because I don't want to go off memory and say the wrong thing.
Yeah, I'm always worried about doing that too.
So yeah, we have Meta on Wednesday. We have Microsoft on Thursday. We have Tesla tomorrow.
Oh, those should be fun. That's after market, right? Tesla tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And then we have Apple in 10 days on May 2nd.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's bring our special guest on, and let's see if we can make some more sense of the market. You all set? Can I get a thumbs up in the back? I just want to make sure that, yeah, okay. Good morning, Joel. How you doing here? I'll be honest, save us, because we're looking at a market that looks pretty dead here. SPY really just kind of in a range. Nothing really terrible happened over the weekend. A lot of just kind of general malaise that I see so far. What are you seeing, Joel?
Oh boy, well, thanks for having me. And I guess I'm on with 13 here. Unlucky 13 or lucky.
Well, so let me. You know what? Really quick, let's take a sec. Let's take a sec here, because you've never met 13, Joel. 13 has been a pre-market prep viewer for years. He's been a lifetime Benzinga Pro member, has been in the happy hour since its inception. This gentleman has supported our mission for years here. It's good that you two can finally meet.
Yeah,
hi, Joel.
how you doing? You know, when the number 13, you know, people say, you know, bad luck, good luck, but the one thing always pops into my mind when people talk about 13. And you know what that is?
What's that?
My grandfather had 12 brothers and sisters, and he was the youngest of 13, immigrated from Russia. I only got to meet a couple of them, but whenever I see that number and I think of 13, we've had a few family reunions and it has 13 all over it. So you're starting out on a good note with that, because I think of it as my pops, my Dr. David Alcon, Michigan grad too, to add to that. So starts out on a good number. So that's good thoughts, starting things out of the box. Markets here. Okay. I was off last week, so I'm still shaking out the cobwebs, but rebound. We got to determine if this is just a dead cat bounce. And so far, I know the S&Ps are up 22, and if you guys don't know me much, I'm very, very S&P centric. You got to take out the pre-market high. And we've tried like 4 or 5 times. That pre-market high S&Ps 50, 36, 50, interday high 34 and a quarter. Now, everyone here is familiar with, you know, like the 24-hour market and the pre-market highs and lows, or should I explain that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, we do have a lot of futures traders in here, but I think maybe just kind of bullet point why you think that's so important.
Because the big boys are on at night. For me, Monday trading starts Sunday at 6 p.m. For me, Tuesday trading starts Monday at 6 p.m. Wednesday, you know, on. And then when the markets finally shut down at 5 p.m., that little after hours trading. So a lot of times you never see levels in the pre-market. Friday's a good example. When you had that, Israel bombing Iran, you never got to that pre-market low. It was a difference, a big difference. But for me, for the bulls to show that they're in control, we would be taking out the pre-market high. And Jay says the big boys don't trade Sunday night. Who do you think bought the market and supported it at 49.63.50, Jay? That's who supported the market. But I would just love to see it get above 36.5. I don't have anything up there. I heard you guys talking about Apple. Apple, man, you got to get through Friday's high. 166.40 was Friday's high. You got to 166.23. So right now, all indications right now at this second at 10:20, we're looking at a dead cat bounce here. But of course, you know, anything can happen by the end of the day. Nvidia's poking its head up. But SMC is still in the tank. So a little bit of divergence there. But right now, a little nervous about not taking out that pre-market high.
All right.
Joel, I'm looking for at least a 10% corrective move off this all-time high in the SPY. Do you have anything that you're looking for as far as downside, or where this move goes?
13, I'm more of like a prove it to me kind of guy. And so you got to put a double bottom in here somewhere. You got to show a place where the Bulls are willing to step up 2 days in a row. You have the inter-day low, so I'll throw out. That overnight low was kind of maybe a little bit of an overdone, but I'm looking at this 49.90 level right here, and if you're trying to pick a bottom here, you gotta hold that area. And right now we're just kind of drifting towards it. The second thing I like to go to, if I don't have got good levels of support on the daily, I like to go to the monthlies. And right now, my next monthly target on the downside would be in the lower 4,900 handle at 49.36. So right now, prove to me this is not a dead cat bounce. Hold that low from Friday, and you got something to work with. But my next downside target is 49.36, and that turned out to be your February low.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. So 13, this would probably be a good time to tell him where your 13 name comes from. Briefly, I will say 13 has always been my lucky number, so I don't get scared away from any of that nonsense going on.
No, 13 is my suffix. You know how some people will be the third or junior?
Yeah,
I'm the 13th.
you're the 13th person with the same name.
Yeah.
It's a pretty long lineage,
Oh,
and it originates in Wales.
okay.
So I mean, I've got a pretty good read on my history within the United
Nice.
States, but going back beyond the United States, a little bit hard to figure out. So still working on that.
Nice. Okay. Hey, well, just because I thought there's a dead cat bounce doesn't mean you guys need to shave 8 points off the S&Ps in a blink of an eye. I don't like that.
That's
Maybe
what
I'm
we
not
do
coming
here.
in here anymore.
That's what we do here. Spinner heard you challenging him, and he's like, "Okay, let's see where we're gonna go here."
I love 50-18. I love 50-18. Nah, I'm just.
So Joel, I'd said at the beginning here, we're talking, you want to see if this is a dead cat bounce or not. Market really kind of seems a little bit tired or sleepy here on a Monday. I know we've got the draft coming up this week, and unlike some of the other non-market related events that we've had, whether it be the Masters or the NCAA basketball tournament or what have you, clearly, despite those not having anything to do with the market, they actually affect the volume of the market participants. Now, I'm unsure if the draft is going to have that same type of effect. What do you think here? And then perhaps more importantly, with the draft being in Detroit, are you excited? What are you doing for it?
Man, am I excited. Well, first of all, not like NCAAs, like the first 2 days. I think that's, because everyone's got their bracket.
Thursday, Friday. Yeah,
the Thursday, Friday of that. The Super Bowl indicator hasn't been super reliable, right? So, I don't think it's going to have an overall impact, but it's going to have an impact on the Motor City. It's going to have an impact on Detroit, and this is going to be the first time, Ryan, that you and I are. Well, this is the first time we've ever. You were on my show before a few times.
Yeah.
But we're going to be live together. I don't know if you've explained to them, but the Benzinga World Headquarters, boom, man, that looks over the majestic Campus Martius Park, and that's where they're holding the first round. So, if the draft wasn't in right in the backyard of the Benzinga office, I'd be at home like everybody else watching it. But we're putting together a draft party, and we got a few tricks up our sleeve. But we are looking for you people. I saw someone mention the Green Bay Packers. We're looking for guest general managers, right? Everyone does their fantasy football and they have their DraftKings account and, they have all the things. But, everyone follows the draft. So we are looking for guest general managers to come on 5 minutes before 13 picks and, give us your prediction. We filled up a lot of teams. But we have not figured out every, we haven't had one for every team. So if you want to be a guest GM, I'm sending the link here to Ryan, and he's going to post it in the chat here. Send me an email, right? And then, you're going to be on, you could be on live with me and Ryan and Chris Kachi. Aaron Bree is going to be out in the crowd, circling around. And like I said, we got a few teams left. And if you want to be the guest GM, be on Benzinga's live stream, both fill out that form, and then I'll get in contact with you.
Okay, so a couple of things here just to clean up. First of all, I am extremely stoked about this. Yes, everyone should check it out. And like Joel said, I went ahead and posted that link in there. Reach out to Joel, check out that sheet, see if you want to join us. Joel, really quickly here, I don't know if you are aware of this, but we've actually never formally met in person. Okay, so I've done an interview with you. I've came on pre-market prep with you. We've talked about a lot of different things that we've collaborated on. We've never actually met in person. Now, this is the part that you don't know. There was one time very early on in my Benzinga career where you were in the office and I came in. But you know what? It was on me. I was too nervous to come up and say hi. I had watched you on pre-market prep for a number of years, and I was like, I'm just kind of breaking into this. He looks busy. We'll do it another time. And I never
When was that?
This must have been 2019, Joel. This was pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID?
I saw you walking around the office. I know it was just a couple of days in there. Anyway,
Yeah.
I was in for an entire week. One of the days you were in there. But that's not important, because guess what we get to do on Thursday? Not only do we get to formally meet each other in person, but we are also going to have an absolute blast on some of these presentations that we're doing. I'm really looking forward to it. My missed career is as a sportscaster, so the fact that I
Me
get to
too. That's what my wife.
out,
My wife says that all the time. That's all the time.
I've been told at previous jobs, hey, you have a really good voice for announcing sports. Have you ever thought about that? And I was like, yes. If you know anybody, please give them my name. I'd be happy to try that.
Man.
Joel at the Derby, that'd be the best.
Oh man. I don't want to stay on too long here, but as a kid, okay, my dad owned harness horses. All right. And I used to go to the track. I learned my math figuring out the odds boards, but listening to the announcers. And what I used to do is I used to bring home the program from that had the former race results. And they would say the start, the quarter pole, the half, and I would go into a tape recorder just by myself practicing broadcasting harness races and thoroughbred races. And then we don't have time for this, but the greatest sports announcer of all time was a guy, of course, Michigan, Bob Ufer. If anyone's heard in this chat Bob Ufer, you get a free year of Benzinga Pro. And I'm telling you, this guy was the biggest homer in the entire world. He loved Michigan. And not only do I know these people or know his sayings, but my daughters, who are 28 and 31, he died in my freshman year of college. They know his sayings when I bring them up. So, but my wife says instead of markets or sports, she said I should have been a weatherman, because I am spot on with the weather. I can give you that weather. I don't need to look at my phone. I don't need it. We go on vacation. Lisa doesn't look at weather.com. She says, no, Joel, what do you think the weather is going to be like? And I have my special forecast. It's not Bob Uecker. It's Bob Ufer, U-F-E-R. Go to bobufer.com and check that out. But guys, I'm going to hop here. I've stayed on a little bit too long. That morning low didn't hold here. Now the question is, can the Bulls defend that pre-market low of 500 at 9.25? If not, we're trading sub 5,000. So I wish I could give you a better prediction or more accurate on the market, but that's what the information it's given me. 13. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Someone asked, is there a 14 out there?
Yes, there is.
Okay.
He's already wanting to follow in his old man's footsteps, so I have to temper expectations.
Okay. All right. And then real quick, someone asked about a Tesla bottom here. And boy, oh boy, just let me go to the dailies here. Man, I said this morning it needed to reclaim 160. Well, that ain't going to help you at all.
No, sir.
No, man, I'll just tell you that the monthly looks scary to me. I can't give anything off the monthly. Next monthly low comes in at 101.81. I'm sure that's not what you want to hear. So I'll go to the weekly here and I'll say, all right, I'll give you a number. And I'll only make it a 2-star. And that's 134.27. That was back near the end of January. It wasn't a monthly low, but back in January 23, we had a weekly low at 134.27. So if you're stepping out on a long here while you're risking $7, if you want to be a little bit more patient, wait for it to come in. That'd be my next level. And I wouldn't be out there at 134.27 today. I'd be out there at like 135, because sometimes it hits that number and then you're like, oh, it's going through. And then boom, it writes back. So right now, next target on the downside, Tesla, you heard it here first, 134.27.
All right. We got more than we bargained for. Joel, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. I tell you what, you should stop by here more often. You should stop by here more often as your time allows. I know you're a busy guy. Really, really appreciate it. Look forward to where we end up going with the market this week, but also really looking forward to the draft, Joel. Thanks so much for your time. Take care of yourself, my dude.
All right, go blue.
Go blue. Here is the link that Joel had mentioned. Again, I just want to repeat his call here. If this is something that you're interested in, please go ahead and check it out. Shoot him an email. Check out the doc that we just linked in here. Like I said, we are going to have some fun in the Motor City for the draft this time. 13, how about that? How about Joel? He's something else, isn't he?
You know what I liked about his story when he was talking about taking home the former races program and kind of reading it out? It reminded me of a story of another announcer who's very popular these days that kind of had a similar start where he would do the same thing where he would try to announce what he was seeing on TV or on the radio. Mike Tirico actually got his inspiration starting that way when he was younger. He would try to do his announcing when he was younger. Like I don't know if he would read programs or whatnot, but he would try to announce or call plays as they were happening. And this reminded me of that because he's a big broadcaster now, and so it just was parallel to what Joel was saying.
Is that Mike Tirico?
Tirico.
Oh, yeah, dude. Okay.
I'm so bad at pronouncing names.
It's okay. I mean, Mike Tirico is a legend. He does NFL games now. He has an iconic voice. I didn't know that about him, though. That's some pretty awesome stuff there. Joel's doing the same thing. Let me tell you something. Yeah. I normally don't like saying things that haven't happened ahead of time when I'm unsure about what's going to go on. But here's what I will say. I am hoping that this goes so well that Joel and I have something else now to collaborate on going forward. How awesome would it be doing a rundown before an NFL Sunday or a rundown before a college football Saturday or something like that? I hope that this is great, entertaining, and takes off because, man, oh man, that would make me feel amazing. We shall see.
I'd tune in. That's for sure.
That's what I'm saying. You guys got to check it out. It's free. It's free. What else are you going to be doing during the draft?
Since we've been talking, there's some things been going on here with some of these stocks that we're moving. AGBA, that was
a new
really
highs. Yep.
This one was the one where I was looking for support from that 180 area around VWAP. Traded a little bit beneath it, and then we finally broke out above 2. That was a really good trade there. Now we're looking at 222 as the next upside target. After that, if we break that level and continue higher, I have 245.
AGBA, this has been a really good one. This was the stock of the day here. Nice power move. I'm expecting a pullback at some point here on AGBA. I'd like something to get us close to the VWAP, maybe even a pullback here to our 185-ish, even if we don't get there. Watch for that one here on AGBA. One of the other ones that we were watching all morning here, we're going to be MLEC. This is MLEC. This, you had mentioned earlier that it looked like this had bottom 13. That's kind of where we're at here. We are absolutely kind of consolidating. Now, the one thing here is that we could break in either direction out of this consolidation pattern, right? So be careful if you're going to trade this to the upside. I'd be looking at a stop of about no more than 230-ish to the downside, just in case this breaks. Otherwise, we might come back to that VWAP about 40-some cents above the current price here on ticker MLEC.
Yeah, so for both sides of the trade here, if we're looking for downside, I have levels at 220 and 195. That would be my downside targets. If we start to break down from here, if we break above the 65 EMA, which is currently keeping the price down, my upside targets from there would be 278, 280 to $3.
Okay. Crow here saying MLEC hasn't proven it can move intraday, only in the pre-market. Until it proves that, still kind of some weakness here. Lynn mentioning that Fausto's, this was we spoke with Fausto Puglisi from Cyber Trading University last week. He mentioned he was trading CLK that morning. This has actually gone higher now. 2 days since then. By the way, Lynn, we're going to be bringing Fausto back. He's a real sharp guy here. So, like I said, we're going to continue to try and fill this place out with some awesome guests. One of the other things that I had pulled up there while Joel was on here was taking a look at the SOXS, because it looks like that first move here when the market was going to try and trade up, that immediately reversed here. SOXS, this was a great trade on Friday, has the makings of another good trade here today. We'll see.
EDBL, one of the other, stock of the days, that one looks like it's starting to roll over here. If it does not get support from $6, I think we're going to be headed down to under $5.
I think you're probably right here. Remember, on Wednesday, April 17th, when we first traded this one, this thing was gappy as can be on that haul fest all the way up. Did not take it long to retrace about 50% of that move. We've done nothing but break down there. So to your point, 13, if this starts to lose, it might be over here for the day. Paul saying, guys, start your own YouTube sportscasting channel. Great way to start. Hopefully one of the networks picks you up. That's kind of what we're thinking here, right? We're hoping that our coverage of the draft at least is entertaining to people. Maybe someone takes a look at it. Paul, this is definitely kind of what we're looking at here. Like I said, I mean, I've dreamt about that as a potential career. So if I'm able to get that done, oh my God. Bob's asking, what trading platform do you use? Bob, we got a couple going on here. First of all, the stream is sponsored by Trade the Pool, which is a prop firm. So I don't have that a broker opened up here today, but I use that on most days for actual execution. What you're seeing here is Benzinga Pro. This is a financial newswire complete with a bunch of other tools like scanners, audio squawk, calendars, unusual options, the whole 9 yards there. This is my supplemental informational tool. And then the broker that I use on my regular account, my main personal account, is TD Ameritrade. I use Thinkorswim. So a bunch of different browsers. I think 13 uses Webull. We've had a couple other people that have used TradeStation before. So
use that too.
Yeah,
we've used it before as well.
There we go. So I've used Scott Trade before they were bought out. So we had some experience here with a bunch of. I used Moomoo for a while. I used the Moomoo brokerage for a while that I did like there. But good to have you here, Bob. Hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, we are getting some movement with NKGN. That one's pushing up right now, as the chat was mentioning. We have a pre-market high of 186. So that's after this consolidation that it's trying to work its way through. We start to trade up there. That's the level it's got to get through. If we break that and start and continue moving higher, I have my first upside target at 223.
Okay, now NKGN did recently take that VWAP out. Looks like this is trying to move higher here. 160 to me looks like the next spot there. Paul's asking, did AGBA halt? No. I don't have any record here on the halt scanner, courtesy of Benzinga.
It's still trading.
It did not. It is still trading. SOXS is coming in a little bit there as the market seems to find a little bit of a bottom. Remember that started slipping right as Joel was leaving here. Looks like that's getting bought back up. We'll see if that ends up holding here.
Okay, so 254 on MLEC. That's the upside that I have that needs to. That's the resistance level it needs to break. It's moving up to that right now. If we get the volume to come in and help take that out, I would say that VWAP is the next target, and currently I have that at 277. Looks like it's trying to do it. Volume needs to expand a little bit more. MACD looks all right, but just need that volume to start expanding, and then we can get that that trade there. Should be about a 30-cent trade. What else? So NKGN looks like it's going to try to put in some kind of a flag before it moves higher. It's either going to do that or push up very much sooner. Just watch for the for NKGN to move up. It's got to get through 155 and 160. There's a bunch of sell orders there. EDBL might be finding support here at 635.
Look at that. Stay focused. Good morning, my man. GM, Ryan, and 13. Hope you guys had a great weekend. I did. Dude, stay focused. Let me tell you, man, I golfed on the weekend. It was 43 degrees. It was miserable. It was cold and windy. I had no feel at all, but I was still out there. I still had a great weekend. Hopefully you did as well. Market's kind of boring here this morning. Really just seems like a little bit of chop. Unable to reclaim 498 or 500 here on the SPY. Not a whole lot going on here. Hopefully you had a great weekend, and hopefully you're excited for the draft week, which I know I am. You know what? Stay focused. I hit the ones I made really good contact on. I hit all right, but I had real trouble being consistent with any part of the swing. The cold really kind of threw me off. I didn't have enough warmth for my hands, so I won't make that mistake again. But man, oh man.
Keep an eye on AGBA. We get some more volume expansion. It's going to go up to 222. The next upside target I have. It has a big sell order or a number of sell orders at 220. Current high of the day is 217. Some of these are just looking very tired right now.
Good to see you, Judge. Hey, Judge, you're joining us for that draft program that Joel talked about, right? You're a big Giants fan. You going to tell us what the Giants need? Pretty sure. Yeah, I definitely need something. Costco sells this USB rechargeable electric hand warmer. And I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, that seems like a good idea, but maybe a little bit of overkill. Oh, man. This weekend, I was like, I wish I bought that thing. Would have been awesome.
Sims chart doesn't look too bad. It looks
Let's
like
take a look at it.
It looks like it's trying to curl back up to 1054 and break out over that.
Jonathan mentioned BTC looking to try again. That's actually looking to try and go over 66K.
I have it at over 66,000.
The futures one, yeah.
This one looks like it's. I mean, right now, based on the today's price action, it looks like it's trying to go break out towards 67,000 even. We had that big move at midnight and traded all the way up to 66.5. Came back in for pre-market. Now we're trying to take out that 66.5 again.
I'm just flipping through some of these other stocks here. SMFL, this big knife down through the VWAP, never reclaimed. Matterport staying around 481 there. That was a big move on Matterport for anyone that had it from last week. Oh, what this thing really didn't do anything. GlaxoSmithKline appearing on the scanner here. There must have been news or something here on GSK. Sanofi to pay $100 million to settle the Zantac cancer lawsuit. Okay. God, I remember when those Zantac commercials were all over the television. NKGN looks like it's trying to give up its VWAP there. Oops, clicked on the wrong stock here. MLEC tried to break out of that area that you were talking about, 13. Nope, just right back into the chop zone.
Yep. Yeah, that's what it seems like. I mean, oh man, what is the volume that we've traded today in SPY? 12, almost 13 million.
Stay focused. Coming out throwing daggers. Sorry to interrupt there, 13. Giants need everything. The Giants are like the Bears. No defense, no winning. Bears had actually the 7th ranked defense in the second half of the year last year, really picked it up after the sweat edition. And they've actually made some improvements to their defense in the offseason, adding Kevin Baird, the safety, who's way better than Eddie Jackson. I'm actually optimistic on the Bears. Hopefully Caleb Williams is everything he's chalked up to be, and we can have a fun year, but we'll see. I'm sorry, 13. What was the ticker that you were looking at before I started to go down my sports side road?
I have no idea. I'm looking at AGBA right now. It popped to 218, and then it started to pull. Still trying to take out 220 and go to 222 or higher. EDBL still looks like it's trying to find support right around here. Right around where it's at right now.
Jay's Life, really good idea here. Jay's Life suggesting we should probably be creating a watch list, considering this could be the low, and there's plenty of stocks that got beaten up last week. A couple of things here. I'm not confident saying anything is the low. However, the first part of this is a fantastic idea. And in fact, we actually do this quite a bit on Happy Hour. We build different themes of watch lists, shopping lists, if you will, in case the market really kind of gets hit. 13 has mentioned this a number of times on the show. The one thing I will say, building watch lists, not the most entertaining content. However, if we do get some watch lists put together, I can try and put some together and then maybe share them. I don't know. We'll see. I love the idea here, and it's always worth doing research and creating a shopping list of quality companies should the market come in and give you a discounted price. Never a bad plan.
Looks like EDBL is trying to turn around here. We'll see if that materializes. But yeah, getting a shopping list together is definitely something that I've talked about and kind of done a bit here. One of the things I was talking about earlier this year is how good some of these military names looked, and when we got that dip in Lockheed Martin, I was like, oh, that's a great dip to buy.
EDBL might be going here. Watch for a 7 test off this curl and a move through the VWAP, ticker EDBL.
Tasty. Right through 7, and I will be out of that. Tasty. Anyway, so it looks like we have MLEC breaking down. So this one could be done for the day if we start to get a breakdown beneath 220 and the 200-day SMA is not able to support it. Not really. I mean, look at the pre-market chart. You had almost pretty much a triple top there. So we could be going lower. We could be finding support here. We'll just have to wait and see. That was a really, really nice EDBL trade. And it looks like there's might be some more room left to go. I don't know. Come on, I'm on the treadmill. We need some of these stocks to run as much as the Swede is. Maybe we can invest in you, Joaquin. Let's see here. A couple of things regarding the shopping list, though. Ryan, do you have that link that kind of gives you a snapshot of sector performance over the years?
Yeah, let me dig that up here for you. I do have that here. Let me just find it real quick.
For me, what he's about to put up, this is a really good starting point in some cases, because it gives me an idea of what's not performing, what's performing really well, and I can get an idea of where I should be looking for some of these trades in good companies that just are beaten up lately on, just have some downside, but will eventually recover, pay dividends, things like that. You'll find that a lot of the stocks that are down, well, the top 4 that are down, the sectors are real estate, utilities, consumer discretionary, and consumer staples. So there's 4 sectors right there. Probably not so much real estate, but utilities and consumer products. Seems like those would be a good place to start to look for companies that are really beaten up and bottoming.
Here we go. Here. I have to rename this. Here's the link. It always takes me way too long to find this 13. I'm literally staring right at it. Let me just confirm here real quick. This is what you're referring to, right? This interactive sectors chart. I did go ahead and post that link here in the chat. So,
yeah. So you can see from that the sectors that are most down year to date, the sectors that were down in previous years, and you'll kind of discover that some of these sectors that are the down in the lower echelons of the of that chart, they tend to be in the upper echelons the following year or the following 2 years. So it's really helpful to see what's been super beaten up and what could be recovering, and it gives you an idea of where you should be looking for setups and for companies that do really well but just had a bad year or two. We go over the strategy of how we pick stocks so that we can create our own scanners, such as do we look for volume? Do we look for float to be under? Yeah, my scanner is very simple. I don't have anything really indicating to me when it's under a certain float or really it's just, if it's got greater than a million shares of volume trading in the pre-market, then it's got my attention, and then I just look at it further from there. But my scanner is very it's very, very basic.
Yeah, and the other thing that I'll say about this is that, it really depends on what you're looking for, right? Like, what are you scanning for? When we're sitting right here, I'm scanning for different moves, right? Different things that are happening. So I use relative volume for that. But we can scan for all different types of things like that. And to your point, 13, when you start adding things on like traditional volume or float, or market cap, that varies from trader to trader. There's not necessarily a right or a wrong answer there. You can kind of figure out whatever your strategy really kind of makes sense to you. You can then kind of hone that in by using some of those other filters there. So,
well, Jay's Life, one of the greatest things about Benzinga Pro is that they are essentially a news service, and it's
the heartbeat of the platform. Absolutely.
So if it seems like I'm always looking for news reports, it's because I'm using a platform that has breaking news reports and tries to get news to the forefront of my face as soon as possible. Because news catalysts tend to be one of the biggest contributors to stock prices moving. I mean, it could be earnings news, could be acquisition news, could be clinical data news. News really moves the hell out of these stocks. So yeah, of course, I'm going to be looking for news catalysts and anticipate news catalysts. But I look for other things too. If I'm late on the news catalyst and I have to look at chart technicals and see where I can get entries and exits, and where I can define my risk. So it's okay if you're late to the news catalyst, but just don't put yourself in a position where you're going to be caught on the downside.
See, that's the other thing that I try to emphasize to people is that you don't have to be the first person to react to news in order for that to be valuable. And I think that's kind of a misconception, especially those of us that look at charts all of the time. You look at a chart where the price is relatively steady, then a piece of news comes out and it moons, to use the parlance of the day. And, that's oftentimes that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to, capture whatever we can. Look at the move on MLEC, by the way. This is on its way to giving back everything that it took here in the pre-market. 50%. We break down through this 220 here. It's actually taking another leg down. We break down again. I think this thing comes all the way back in.
Thanks, Danielle. I'm an octopus. I'm assuming you mean like I have my hands all over the place.
8 arms.
Yeah. So Market Sniper, what I use on Webull for the order widgets, I use Ladder, Trade, and Turbo Trader. It seems like they all bring something different to the types of trades that you can place. Like, I use Turbo Trader for if I'm, I need to do a quick order. I use the Ladder to get an idea of where, where prices, where orders are being placed, and also to get an idea of the price action. And then I use the regular trade because it's got all a whole bunch of different features on how I can set up my trade, including type, the time and force, take profit, stop losses, all those different technical features you get from that you can set up your trade with. But I just use those 3 for different things, because it's not just one type of trading that I'm doing. I mean, you gotta be ready. I'm just ready for all the different kinds of trades, and I use all 3 of them frequently. But those are the ones I use: Ladder, Trade, and Turbo Trader.
I use the Ladder and Trade the Pool and Thinkorswim. To me, that's one of the best universal tools across brokers there.
The Ladder.
The latter. Yeah.
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 Yeah, I think that
it does so much for you, and it's so easy to comprehend that data.
Trade stations, they call it their matrix, I believe. If you're using TradeStation and want something similar, that's what they call it. Wow, Reddit just had a big old burst.
So that defended 40. So Reddit so far has done a pretty decent job defending that 40 level. I know we dipped under it briefly on Thursday of last week. We didn't even close beneath it. Sure looks like Reddit's going to try to move back up here. Looking at the daily chart here, I think the next spot might be 45, about 3 points above where we're at here on Reddit. Jonathan thinks that a market rug pull is coming. Remember, Joel told us this morning when he came on here, as we started to break down, thought it just looked like a dead cat bounce. I could totally see a market pull coming in here. We'll see if we challenge some of those lows.
Turbo Trader, it's just, another way of placing trades in a quicker manner than just, manually entering, the quantity, and other parameters like the time and force. Turbo Trader, it's much more like, I need to get into this right now, and it's a lot riskier too because there's it's a lot of market order trading with the Turbo Trader. So, but it also has the features I need, like cancel all the current orders or flatten and things like that. So it's there for if I need to do something quick. Not so much just to do regular trading, but if it's something I need to handle quickly, then that's what that's there for. If they had like all these different features in one widget and not two, then that'd be better. But because Trade and Turbo Trader are different, I have both of them up.
Really good stuff there.
I don't know if Turbo Trader is part of Interactive Brokers. I'm using Webull. They probably have, brokerages have all different, names for their widgets for order entry.
But they are all very, very similar. That's kind of what I found out. SMCI, this looks nasty here. Looks like this has already been cut in half from the $1,200 highs. Unreal.
Well, Zim worked out the way it was shaping up to. New high, 1055. Don't know how much higher we're going to go, but that pattern was looking pretty good.
EKS, what I will say about TOS is it's one of those things where it's got one of those humps at the beginning where you look at it and you're like, oh, I don't know. But the more you use it, you'll figure out what to use it for. It's really not that bad. It's really not that bad. A couple of things might be a little bit difficult to find, but once you find them, you can set it up a specific way. So Zim looking like it's going for some new highs here, 13. That was great.
Gotta love that Zim. It's been a faithful technical trade.
Yeah, it sure has. All right, 13, we're about done here for today in terms of time. We are going to be back at this again tomorrow. Any parting words of wisdom for our group here?
Well, as we pointed out, it's not looking like a particularly great day in the market, so just be very careful. If you have other stuff you need to do with your life, today might be a good day to do that. I know that's what I'm going to do. Take care of yourself, protect your capital.
Yeah, I think that's really good advice. Protecting your capital should always be your number one goal of every trading day. This week didn't really start out with a bang. Actually kind of started out with a whimper, I hate to say, but looks a little bit slow here. I do think we kind of trade back down. Let's see if we hit 494, 492. I'll see if we get any type of support here. And again, we'll be back at this again tomorrow. Really looking forward to the draft this week. You folks have been absolutely awesome. 13, take care of yourself, my man. We'll see you tomorrow. All right, everybody. Trader Bacon coming up.